Hello, my name is Collection Connoisseur. I collect digital thingamabobs in video games, and today I'm playing Monster Train. This time on Monster Train, we will once again be playing at the highest Covenant rank, trying to win it for the first time. This time we will be playing as the Hellhorned Stygian. We've played with Hellhorned Stygian combination twice before. The most recent one of those we played with Exiled Hellhorned. So we'll be playing as the primary champion for the Hellhorned. And the last time we did that, we did the primary Stygian. So we will be doing Exiled Stygian. Primary Hellhorned, Exiled Stygian. This is the first time we have ever played this combination before. Alright, let's see if we can win. So I do really like Ritual of Battle. I have enjoyed the Mollusk Mage recently, and Pyre Chomper is okay. Having one Pyre Chomper in the deck, I'm fine with that. So, just looking at my random starting cards, I'm pretty happy with that. The Mollusk Mage does help immediately because we do have the torches. Even though we got the wrong Stygian spell for the Mollusk Mage, we do have torches. Our final boss is Seraph the Patient. Applies melee weakness to the front unit and gains attack on rally and incant. That can be dangerous. But I'm not sure that I consider Seraph the Patient one of the more dangerous ones. And I don't think that's going to be too much of a problem with Hellhorned Stygian. I mean, it's going to be a problem because Seraph is one of the major baddies in the game. But still. Alabaster Guardians have Spell Shield 5. Spell empowers units with armor. I don't think that's too bad either. The Spell Shield 5 is unfortunate when we're using the Stygian. And Daedalus the Professor has the Explosive Sigil again. Apparently this is not rare, as I once thought it was. It's just that I randomly didn't get it very often until now. Now I get it all the time. So Explosive Sigil on Daedalus the Professor. I don't think we have to plan ahead for much of any of those. Although, I believe there's a Stygian card that allows us to remove triggered effects. And that would be excellent against Seraph the Patient, because we remove the rally and incant if we get that. So that's the only thing I'm really thinking of right now for planning ahead against these bosses. Let's upgrade our champion. So Wrathful has Slay. I tend to not like the Slay triggers that much. Of all of the triggers that you can have on your friendly units, I think the Slay triggers are not great. The second one that I don't like that much is Revenge triggers. So, unfortunately, this is what we have with these two. We've got Reaper and Wrathful. Wrathful has Revenge, so the idea is that you want to put that more toward the front, which is a little bit strange. Or Reaper, where you want to put it in the back and have it kill lots of things and gain the Slay. So I don't know which one of these to pick. I think what I'm going to do here is base this on what I have picked before and what I haven't picked before, and pick the thing that I've least used before. So according to my notes, we've never ever even seen Reaper 3, which means we've basically never played with Reaper. So let's use Reaper. Okay, so we've got a champion that has basically no health, a good amount of attack, and a Slay trigger. Don't like that so far. Oh, demon units get multi-strike 1, or when you summon your first imp each turn, draw a card. Gain 1 ember and draw a card. I consider both of these to be kind of amazing. Is our champion a demon? No, it's just considered a champion. Ooh, both of these are quite amazing. The only one that actually does anything in our starting deck right now is Queen's Tale. It also makes it so that taking Imps is actually useful, whereas a lot of the time taking the Imps just clogs up your deck. Doesn't clog up your deck if you draw a card every time you play an Imp. So I'm really thinking about Queen's Tale. Gerd's Goad. Gerd's Goad is really good too. I'm gonna have to take Queen's Tale. I think this is an excellent artifact. Let's see how well it does for us. Non-boss enemy units enter with spikes 3. That's pretty bad with our Hornbreaker Prince, isn't it? Well, you know, maybe we put the Hornbreaker Prince at the top. I'm still going to turn it on, but that really makes the Hornbreaker Prince with only 6 health do not much in this battle. Okay, we've got a torch which can kill this one. And we've got a couple of foregone powers. I probably do want to play my Hornbreaker Prince. And we're going to play him at the top because we really don't want him to attack enemy units very often. Let's hope we can play both of these foregone powers. Oh, we can. Great. We really do want to kill that one before it gets to the top. So, are we going to be able to do that? Probably not. Also, we don't get to play Ritual of Battle this turn, which is unfortunate. Oh, the Mollusk Mages are really bad with the Spikes 3 as well. How about that? Well, I'm thinking about playing the Train Steward in the center and torching this one, the Collector. Seems pretty weak. But what else am I going to do? I'm not sure. Could we die on the very first battle? It's possible. It's possible we'll die on the first battle. Because the Thorns 3 was pretty terrible for us. But we'll see. The trick here is to not have the champion take too much damage, which is going to be a real problem because the champion is already taking 5 damage. We can play the Pyre Chomper up here, which is really nice, actually. The Pyre Chomper goes there, gets us some stuff. We can't kill this one without our champion. That's a problem, because that means our champion gets 3, loses 3 health, and next turn, how does the champion not also lose 3 health? It's kind of hard to imagine, but if it's going to happen, it's going to start with this. We could play a Train Steward and put Ritual of Battle on the Train Steward. Putting Ritual of Battle on our Hornbreaker Prince seems like it could be a bad plan. Interesting. So what I'm thinking about here is Train Steward in the middle with Ritual of Battle on it. That will cause the Train Steward to kill this one and take the 3 damage. So our Hornbreaker Prince will stick around. Okay. This is a good time to do it too because we don't get the Ember Drain. So we've got the Train Steward up there, which is taking the Thorns so our champion doesn't take the Thorns. We're going to Foregone Power you because that's the only useful thing we can do with that. And it really depends on how much we can put in front of our champion for the boss, I think. So right here, we're about to take 3 damage on our Hornbreaker Prince because of the spikes. We could put a Mollusk Mage in front so that the Train Steward survives. I like that. It throws away a Mollusk Mage, which I don't particularly like. But I'm happy to throw away a Mollusk Mage right now. And then we can't kill this one with the torch. Let me think about this. So If we torched that one, it would deal 12. The Mollusk Mage would deal 5, that's 17. So we could actually kill this one with the torch. And that means our champion would hit this back one and still get the 3 damage. Or we could just hit the back one with the torch and it would be the same outcome. Okay, back one with the torch because I'm more certain that that actually works. Let's put the Train Steward... We're going to play one Train Steward, of course. Let's put the one Train Steward that we play in the center? How many more Train Stewards do we have? We've got this one other Train Steward and a Mollusk Mage. Maybe we should play the Train Steward at the bottom. Sure, play the Train Steward at the bottom, play the Forgotten Power. And we're not doing so much damage to the boss yet. It appears like we're not going to do very much damage to the boss. The Mollusk Mage, Train Steward, pretty good combination. I'm thinking about whether we play the Weight of Contrition or not, because playing the Torch seems good. If we play the Torch, we can kill the Trusted Priest, which seems good. If we don't play the Torch, then we don't kill the Trusted Priest. I think killing the Trusted Priest is better than playing Train Steward, so let's start here. Now, the next question is, do we play the Weight of Contrition? With the Foregone Power in my hand, there's no reason to do so, is there? How about that? So we've got 2 creatures that both deal 5 damage. If we put the Train Steward in front, then they both get to deal 5 damage, and then the Mollusk Mage gets to deal 5 damage. That's 15. If we put the Train Steward in the back, Train Steward gets to do 5 damage twice, I think. So, Train Steward in the front. And then Foregone Power. Alright. So, the next floor, this creature, this enemy, defeats our guys in 1 hit each, which means they each get 1 hit. We could play a Ritual of Battle and then a Foregone Power. The Ritual of Battle would mean our champion gets to hit twice with extra attack. I like that. And then what we're really hoping for is to discard the Weight of Contrition with one of the Foregone Powers. Fail. Alright. Well, at least we don't take too much damage from the boss. We took the 3 damage from the Weight of Contrition, 5 damage from the boss. I think that's pretty good with how bad Thorns was for us there. Alright, it's good to add Imps in the deck because of Queen's Tale. Do we want a Fledgling Imp or a Molting Imp? The Molting Imp is kind of like the Vent except as an Imp. The Fledgling Imp adds 5 rage to friendly units. With what we have so far, that's pretty insignificant. Don't know which one we actually want. I'm happy with either. So let's take the Molting Imp. Right? With torches, do we need the Molting Imp? Let's take the Fledgling Imp. Well, I don't really like these choices with what we have in our deck so far. We don't have a spell that deals more damage than Torch. The 2 Mollusk Mages makes it so that the Torch is significantly better, though. Maybe we take Urchin Spines. Urchin Spines over Energy Siphon? Sure. Do we want to go Merchant of Steel? I do want a Hellhorned unit. So I guess we do want to go Merchant of Steel because we want the Hellhorned unit. And we do have several units in the deck already, so yeah, let's go this way. Peek in the Divine Temple, we see a Twin Stone and a Purge Stone. Not my favorite set of stones. I mean, the Twin Stone is often not too bad, but don't think we want it with what we currently have. Yeah, not really, so I don't think we're doing anything with the stones here. We could do an Engage Pact. Speed Stone, not my favorite stone with what we have so far, and then there's just a Strength Stone and a Battle Stone. So let's see what the unit is. We could take the Demon Fiend. The Demon Fiend has a lot of health. It's just hard to play. The Steelworker adds armor 5 to friendly units, which could be nice with our champion. Because our champion doesn't have much health, adding armor 5 to it is kind of nice every turn. Also, just somebody that goes out in front of the champion. I'm tempted to take the Demon Fiend. The problem with it is, of course, that it costs so much, and currently the only way we have to play it is the Pyre Chomper. I think let's take Steelworker. And we don't really want Speed Stone on anything that we have other than our champion, of course, which we don't get to do. So I'm thinking about just a straight reroll. Straight reroll, see if we can get a better stone. The Battle Stone and Strength Stone are also not the most important to me with what we can upgrade. The Steelworker, we kind of want to have a Heart Stone more than those, so let's just reroll. Immortal Stone. That is amazing with Queen's Tail. Alright. What are we making immortal? Is it Pyre Chomper or Fledgling Imp? If we make the Pyre Chomper immortal, that means that we can take things that cost a lot of Ember, and it's very good for us. If we take the Fledgling Imp, then our units get stronger constantly, over and over again. Let's do the Pyre Chomper. Pyre Chomper gets immortal. That is extremely good. And then I said I wanted a Heartstone on the Steelworker. Let's do that. We could buy the Strength Stone. The only one that it really makes much sense on is the Steelworker. Doesn't really make sense on Mollusk Mages, or the Fledgling Imp, or the Pyre Chomper. So maybe we just don't buy it. We save this money for a future time. I'm fine with that. Do I want to sacrifice a unit? Because sacrificing a Mollusk Mage to a Mollusk Mage does make a Super Mollusk Mage, and we like those. I think I'm going to hold off until the next Divine Temple because we'll have more idea of what our deck actually consists of by then. So let's hold off on that idea, go into the next one. I think the Immortal Stone on our Imp really made our deck better. Enemy units enter with armor 10. We get a unit draft. I do want a unit draft. But the armor 10 is not great. Let's still turn it on. So we did get these two. We got these two. They can go together somewhere. We could put them on the center floor. I'm thinking about putting them on the center floor rather than the top floor. I like that. So, Hornbreaker Prince, Steelworker, they do 35 damage. So, we only need to do a little bit in order to get the Slay on you next turn. Unfortunately, we're going to get Sinner's Burdens over and over again until we have a way to kill those at the bottom, which is going to be hard. Oh, the Fledgling Imp. So maybe we wanted those on top because of the Fledgling Imp. We could play a Mollusk Mage and a Fledgling Imp. And for that matter, a Train Steward. We could do all of that at the top. It's interesting as an idea. I would like my Hornbreaker Prince to get the Slay, and he's currently not. This one's dying from Frostbite. But we can't change that without playing the Fledgling Imp on the same floor, which we can't do. So, we can't do it. Let's play the Fledgling Imp at the top, with the Train Steward and Mollusk Mage. So Train Steward goes in the center, Mollusk Mage goes in the back, Fledgling Imp goes in the front. And we get another Mollusk Mage. Do we want that on the top floor? It's a good time to play it on the top floor. We'll just keep the Sinner's Burden in the deck? Sure. Put him here because he doesn't have rage. Okay, so the top floor is now stacked to some extent. And I'm happy to play the Urchin Spines here. Okay. And then we get 2 Sinner's Burdens, which is terrible. So you're dying, we have 2 Sinner's Burdens. We want you to die, and if we play the Torch, you don't? Oh yes, you do. Alright, now you die, and then we just play a Sinner's Burden? Alright. You're annoying. The Forged Disciple there, don't know how high he's going to get. But at least our champion is gaining some attack this turn, because he gets to slay something. Oh no, 2 more Sinner's Burdens. Or 2 more Reconcilers, which are going to give me Sinner's Burdens. So we do want to play the Torch. The Torch does a bunch of damage. It just flat out kills this one. So, destroy that one. You are dying, only dealing 1 damage to the Train Steward. Do I want to play a Torch at the bottom, even though it doesn't do much? Do I want to play my Train Steward at the bottom, over getting rid of a Sinner's Burden? I think playing the Train Steward at the bottom is just as useful as playing a Sinner's Burden. So the other Torch is either going to save 1 health on my Train Steward, or it's going to deal one of these 2 damage. Neither of those seem very impactful. Do we have a place to put our Pyre Chomper? We do. We can put the Pyre Chomper at the top. Good. Well, I actually don't know what to do. I guess we just deal 2 damage to the boss, because it's the most useful thing I can think of for us to do. We have way too many Sinner's Burdens. We did get the Ritual of Battle. Oh, and we're already winning. How about that? Alright, well, just win. We didn't even defeat the Reconcilers. But we did defeat the boss. And note that the armor that we added to our champion was very important for defeating the boss there, because the boss had spikes. Alright, Welder Helper, another imp with the Queen's Tail. Another imp is good. Also, the Welder Helper is one of the imps that I like the most out of the imps. So let's take a Welder Helper. I'm also thinking about this event, but let's take the Welder Helper. Another Mollusk Mage. What nonsense. Alright. Maybe we do Ice Tornado. The Titan's Gratitude isn't bad, but let's take the Ice Tornado. The Consumer of Crowns costs 3 less per imp unit in play. Does in play count floors that are not where the Consumer of Crowns is? Because if it doesn't, then this is almost impossible to play. But it's a 140 unit. Do we want the Consumer of Crowns? I really do, actually. I really want the Consumer of Crowns. Let's take it. This might be the dumbest decision we make, though. I don't know if we're ever going to be able to play it. We could take a Stygian unit and go to a Merchant of Magic, or we could go to another Merchant of Steel and heal our Pyre. Another Merchant of Steel is not the worst. We do have kind of a lot of units in the deck. So another Merchant of Steel is not the worst. Let's go to the Merchant of Steel. So, Merchant of Steel, Divine Horde, yeah, so peek in the Merchant of Steel, we see a large stone. How cool. A large stone. I mean, you want to put that on the Consumer of Crowns, because it's ridiculous. We'll think about it. First, we're going to go to the Concealed Caverns and see what's in here. Alright. The Historian. The Awoken, Stygian, and Umbra. We could give a unit quick. Useful. This is the one that applies silenced enemy units, which works really well on Seraph, particularly. And this one gives trample, which is also kind of nice. I think we've got to choose the Unnamed Tome because it's basically a solution to the Seraph fight. So we're taking that. Alright. Now we have a way to deal with annoying triggered abilities, which is great. When our champion is played, our champion gets plus 50% attack. Considering our champion does have kind of a lot of attack, and will probably have more when we upgrade it, it's not bad. The Split Anvil is... doesn't do a whole lot, because our spells seem to be 0, 1, or 3 cost. So it only triggers when we play a 3 cost spell, and it only helps the 1 cost spells. I mean, it could be a lot better later, but currently it's actually not that helpful. And then the Vapor Funnel is not bad. I think we're going to choose Mark of a Champion. Our champion has more attack. Okay. The Large Stone. I mean, we do want it on Consumer of Crowns. Sure, let's get ridiculous. It doubles the health of Consumer of Crowns, which is pretty significant. Making it cost 4 space is also pretty significant, but you know. Okay, Daedalus the Professor. Daedalus the Professor has the Explosive Sigil. That's not too bad. It does kill my Imps. Don't really mind if the Imps die. Except due to Consumer of Crowns, I guess. So one of the things that we discovered last time is I kind of didn't like putting the Hornbreaker Prince and Steelworker in the center because we couldn't add the Fledgling Imp there. We could still do it. I mean, if we play the Steelworker at the top, it gets 10 damage immediately. I think I like the Steelworker Hornbreaker Prince in the center still. Even with that limitation with the one imp. And I mean, we could remove the extinguish effect on units. That's very insignificant. So let's just torch a unit. I think that the Unnamed Tome might actually only be used to make a constructed explosive not do anything sometime during this battle. That might be the only way we use it. So we have the Consumer of Crowns. Now is a really good time to test out how it works, because we're going to play a Train Steward and a Welder Helper. So where do we play the Train Steward? I mean, we could put the Train Steward at the top. Is that valuable compared to at the bottom? I'm not really sure. Let's do the Train Steward with the Welder Helper at the bottom. So Train Steward, Welder Helper, and then now we get to see this costs 7. It costs 7 everywhere. Great. So it doesn't matter where the imps are, it just matters that they are somewhere. Good to know. With 2 frozen cards in my hand, I kind of don't want to play Foregone Power, so I think I just won't. And let's just torch one of these. Okay. We need our Pyre Chomper to come into our hand faster. That's one of the things. Our Immortal Imp needs to come into our hand faster. The Mollusk Mage could go at the bottom. We wouldn't be able to play the Ice Tornado this turn if we played the Mollusk Mage at the bottom. Or we just don't play the Mollusk Mage and play the Ice Tornado. This might be a time to do Unnamed Tome. I think it is. Unnamed Tome right here to silence all of those. And then Ice Tornado in the center? Because it would kill this one? Yeah, I think we do it in the center. Let's see what happens. Okay. That was a fine result. Of all the things to discard, the only other one I could play. 25% chance, and we got the 25%. So there's our Pyre Chomper and a Fledgling Imp. That's pretty nice. We want the Pyre Chomper to die, so we want to play it at the bottom and front. So Pyre Chomper goes here. And then we also play a Fledgling Imp down here. We're okay with it dying. I think. Yeah, we're okay with it dying. And then we can play Urchin Spines, which will... Ooh, all of them are dying. So I didn't actually want all of them to die. But there it is. They're all dying. Alright. I guess... Yeah. That's sad. Oh well, we're playing Urchin Spines at the bottom. I guess we're going to play the Mollusk Mage at the top. Because what else do we do? The Train Stewards are not useful to play at the top. Let's play the Mollusk Mage at the top. We don't want to play the Train Stewards because we want to have space to put our big guy when he comes. I guess we could put him at the bottom now, because the bottom is cleared out. Okay, so we can put a Pyre Chomper at the top. It gains Ember. We can destroy that Constructed Explosive. That seems to be like a good thing to do. Sure. Constructed Explosive die. And then I think we're playing a Ritual of Battle on this Mollusk Mage. Because we don't really care about many other things getting bigger. So I guess the Mollusk Mage gets big. And then what? Foregone Powers? Currently you are dying from the Pyre in 1 hit, and we don't get to change that with 2 Foregone Powers. If we played a Train Steward at the top and 1 Foregone Power, it also wouldn't change it. So I think we just play Foregone Powers at the bottom. Do we try to play 2 or do we play the Train Steward? We try to play 2 foregone powers. Okay. Well, we're getting 2 damage. Actually 3 because of the Extinguish effect due to the Explosive Sigil. So 3 damage this battle. And that should be it. We did not draw our Consumer of Crowns again. We still have the opportunity to, but we did not. And now it's going to be kind of impossible to play it, because we won't have space. Okay, that's sad. In any event, let's play the Ice Tornado somewhere. I guess at the bottom. Or we could save it so that we could play it at the top with the Mollusk Mage, but we might want our... Well, we'll have lots of Ember every single turn. Okay. I guess what we do is we torch you a couple more times, and then Train Steward. I realized that torching him 3 times was useless because he just heals himself. Oh well. We're saving the Ice Tornado for the top. If we ever get to the top with the boss, we'll use the Ice Tornado there. Kind of think we might be winning here, though. We are. Okay. So just to point out, we can play the Pyre Chopper, which allows us to play Consumer of Crowns, except that we don't have the space to put it anywhere. So, we just win. Alright, I'm trying to think about what changes we want in the deck. I do want to be able to play Consumer of Crowns more consistently. That partially depends on just drawing it faster, and drawing the Pyre Chomper faster. So Siren Song is a very interesting one. Is it good? Ascend enemy units on the floor below the pyre? By the way, Pyrebound says can only be played in the pyre room and on the floor below it. Is there any usefulness of playing a spell in the pyre room? Because we don't get to play any spells there when there are enemies there. So what's the point of Pyrebound allowing you to play something in the pyre room? Haven't really figured that out. We could take none of these. We could take Gifts for a Guard. I mean, currently it's not too bad, but I think it gets a lot worse as we go higher up. But we could take Gifts for a Guard. It would not be terrible in our deck. Let's do it. Another Consumer of Crowns. Well, one of the ways to get Consumer of Crowns more consistently is to have 2 of them. Alright, well... we could take a Consumer of Crowns and sacrifice it. It has a very interesting sacrifice effect because it actually has -3 cost to whatever you sacrifice it to. So we could sacrifice it to our Consumer of Crowns to make it cost -3. That's a weird option. I don't think we want Icy Siliphyte. Don't think we want Demon Fiend, and we don't really want the essences except for Consumer of Crowns. I think what we actually do here is just skip. Skip. I want Herzl's Compound and Light of Seraph. And I really do want both of them. Let's take Light of Seraph. And we'll take Herzl's Compound next, most likely. I really want to go to the left for the Unstable Vortex. We only have 100 money, so we don't really get to spend much money. If we went right, is there something that would be amazing for us to duplicate in our deck? The Pyre Chomper? We could have 2 Pyre Chompers. It's a lot less useful to have 2 of them because the Queen's Tail only works with the first imp. Yeah, so let's go left. What do we do first? Look at our champion upgrade first. So we kind of want to go down Reaper. That's the idea here. And honestly, going down Reaper gives 6 health, which is really significant. The additional slay and the additional attack is good too, but the extra health is very important. Okay, Reaper 2. I don't think that Reaper 2 is great, to be honest. Horned Warrior or Demon Fiend? The Horned Warrior at least works with the Ritual of Battle that we have. How much space does it take up? It takes up 2 space. See, I kind of want it because it's a good thing to put behind Imps. And it actually works pretty well on the same floor as the Steelworker. We're taking it. Fine. And Herzl's Compound. Rage, or Herzl's whatever that was. So friendly units get +5, or Rage adds an additional +1 per stack. Interesting because they have very similar effects. It's just one of them is only affected by Rage. So it would make our Fledgling Imp double as beneficial. It would make the Ritual of Battles double beneficial. As opposed to just having a flat 5 extra that does not require us to have something else that we play to make it work. I actually want to go Resonant Shard. Oh, it's not double. Because the Rage normally does +2 per stack, so it doesn't double the effect. But still, it was the same thing we were comparing against with the other artifact there. Okay, let's remove 2 Train Stewards. We definitely want those gone. I would be happy to remove several more cards. Okay, moving to the next one. I'm worried about how strong our deck is and the fact that we've already made it to Ring 4. Mark of Invasion puts things on every floor at the beginning. How bad is that? I think we're going to turn it on. And I think we're going to take some fire damage. Our Hornbreaker Prince is not a very happy guy with the fact that we didn't draw things to put in front of him. We couldn't put a Train Steward in front of him, I guess. So we could put the Hornbreaker Prince at the top, behind a Train Steward. We can also do that in the center. But in the center, the Train Steward dies. See, it doesn't actually help the Pyre at all, by the way, because we defeat 2, but then the one that goes up there has 3 times as much attack, so it still does 6 damage to the Pyre. On the other hand, we could play at the bottom and be kind of sad that we don't slay you at the beginning. Also, I really don't like that the Absolver survives. Wow, this is a pretty bad start. We could just play Hornbreaker Prince Ice Tornado. We could even do that at the top. But the Ice Tornado has Permafrost. So let's do this. We're getting 6 damage on our Pyre here. And let's play the Urchin Spines at the bottom. I think the Urchin Spines are not doing amazing things for us, so I'm happy to just play them. We already took 6 damage on our Pyre. So there's the Steelworker. We want that at the top. let's start with that. We only have 2 Ember to spend. We don't get to take out the Collector. We can play a Welder Helper, but where? Where do we play the Welder Helper? Just at the bottom or something? I don't know. We want the Steelworker at the top. Do we want the Trained Steward to survive? No. Okay. We're taking another 8 damage on the Pyre. And let's play the Welder Helper. Just put it at the bottom. That draws us a card, and then we can play Weight of Contrition and Foregone Power. Weight of Contrition, Foregone Power at the bottom. Glad it didn't discard my Ice Tornado, even though we have Ember Drain another turn, so we still don't get to play it. Oh man, we're taking a lot of damage on our Pyre this time. I kind of predicted that when we took Mark of Invasion, but still, it's upsetting. You are getting to the top. How unfortunate. We can play the Fledgling Imp. I like that. I also like the Horned Warrior at the top, but let's play Fledgling Imp at the top. Horned Warrior doesn't have many places he could go. He could go at the bottom, though. Do some damage at the bottom. We can't put him in the center because he would just die. So, Horned Warrior at the bottom. We can play the Weight of Contrition to get rid of it, and then Foregone Powers. It's not like we're doing much with our Ice Tornado. Yeah. There goes the Ice Tornado. Okay. We still get Weights of Contrition. We get another damage on the Pyre. And we are still slated to get even another damage on the Pyre unless we can kill this back one. Which it doesn't look like we're going to be able to do because of the Weights of Contrition. We did not draw a torch. We've got 5 torches left in the deck, but we did not draw a single torch. The Ritual of Battle does add a lot, but it doesn't give you enough to actually kill the front one on your own. And of course we didn't draw anything to put in front of you either. Man, I feel like we've gotten really unlucky here. I think we should play 2 Weights of Contrition, and maybe 2 Foregone Powers. Just 1, alright. Ick, this battle is not going well. We're taking lots of chip damage on our Pyre. And we keep getting Weights of Contrition because we keep not being able to take out the back ones. And we're only killing the front one again. We can change that by playing Mollusk Mage and Torch, though. Torch killing this one. Or we could just let him go to the top, because he only does 1 damage to the Pyre. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to play 2 Weights of Contrition and a Torch. Wow. This feels bad. And the Torch is going to go... I mean, we have so many torches next turn. Maybe what we do is we play Mollusk Mage at the top, but we put it behind. So we accept some Ember Drain, but the benefit of this Ember Drain is that we've got the magic power next turn for our torches. Okay, we're down to 50. 50 health on our Pyre. We still have Weights of Contrition, but we have to play the torches, because torches save a lot more health. And then, honestly, the Weight of Contrition saves more health than killing this one. and we get 2 more weights of contrition in our deck. Oh gosh. What a painful battle. I feel like we're going to win the battle, no problem. But the fact is, the weights of contrition have really prevented me from drawing my deck. Like, we got 3 that time, which means we still haven't gotten the Pyre Chopper. At least we can play Unnamed Tome. That gets rid of the weights of contrition coming into my deck. And then... I mean, our champion does a lot of damage, so I guess we're fine. It's just that... this one went so poorly, it seems like we shouldn't be fine. Well, we are going to play the Weight of Contrition. I guess we play a Pyre Chomper. And we torch these 2, because we dislike them. We dislike them a lot. Okay, painful. Don't know how much damage we took, but it's probably like 24 damage? We got 33 damage. Ooh, that's even more than I thought we were. Branding right is fine. Important work is great. Important work is really good. Let's take it. I think Frenzied Swarm is quite bad. I think Crystalline Seeds is pretty bad. It just doesn't do anything on the Last Divinity battle, which is pretty significant. I don't really like discarding my hand, especially when we have some frozen cards. And I do actually want to get more frozen cards. It's interesting to see a card pack where I have not mastered any of the cards in the card pack. That does not happen very often. I'm slightly tempted to take Cuddle Hex, and my reasoning here is that applying Frozen to a random card in my hand every turn is actually something that I would like. It's just that it's even more units that are taking up space. And we do have a little bit of a space problem, as well as we don't have enough units that have health and can go in front. So I think we don't take any of these. We skip them, and what do we do here? I mean, I really want to remove more cards. This would be the first Merchant of Magic we go to as well. Let's go this way. So, Merchant of Magic first. There's a Freeze Stone. How excellent. I said I wanted to freeze more things. The Divine Temple has a value stone. I like that. We are also going to use the Engage Pact too while we're here. Let's start with the value stone. We probably want it on Ritual of Battle. Yeah, Ritual of Battle is much better now. Let's get the Pyre health removed to Train Stewards. And then think about what we're going to sacrifice. I almost certainly want to sacrifice a Mollusk Mage. But let's see what our options are. So Fragile we don't want to add to anything. We don't want to sacrifice the Consumer of Crowns. I still believe. I still believe in the Consumer of Crowns. We don't want to sacrifice any Imps, which means the only real option is Mollusk Mage. So, let's sacrifice a Mollusk Mage. And I think we just put it on Steelworker. Yeah, put it on Steelworker. So Steelworker now has a +10 magic power effect, which is good. Merchant of Magic. Freeze Stone. The Gifts for a Guard is perfect for a Freeze Stone. Important Work, we don't really need a Freeze Stone because we have an Immortal Stone and an Imp. So I think the best option is Gifts for a Guard. Yeah, Gifts for a Guard gets a Freeze Stone. Great. Power Stone could go on Ice Tornado. Very useful on Ice Tornado. And then Ember Stone, we could make that Ritual of Battle free. Or we could reduce the cost of this other Ritual of Battle. I think we want to reduce the cost of the other one. And I would even prefer to purge a card. We've purged all of the Trained Stewards, so next is Foregone Powers, because they're bad. Okay. We've done the Divine Temple. I'm not going to get a Purge Stone, I don't think. We've got 55 Pack Shards. I wouldn't mind sacrificing the other Mollusk Mage. So I'm thinking about it. Sacrificing the other Mollusk Mage gives 25, which would put us at 80. 80, we would only need 20 more. And we will almost certainly get those with 2 Divine Temples. Okay. Let's just move on. And let's see how well we can survive. The Crystal Cloak does not make me feel good, because I don't know how much we can survive its stealth. And I think this is the first time we're not turning on the trial. Okay, well, here we go. Oh man, the very first thing that comes out is a giant overcharged tank with 2 sycophants in front of it. That's so bad. And our starting hand is pretty terrible as well. Okay, you know what? We're going to set up at the top with our Hornbreaker Prince and a Horned Warrior. And we're going to torch one of these sycophants because we need to start somewhere. Feel like this overcharged tank is going to be a real problem. So we want to play the Mollusk Mage Steelworker at the top. And then we certainly want to play a Pyre Chomper and have it die. Having it die with the overcharged tanks is really annoying, but that is how it is. So, unfortunately, we live that life. The Consumer of Crowns is still too expensive. Still too expensive. Only too expensive because we had Ember Drain, though. But we actually wanted to play the Mollusk Mage Steelworker, so I'm not upset. And then I think we play Ritual of Battle on the Horned Warrior, because it's the one with multi-strike. And then we can play a Torch and a Foregone Power. We certainly want to torch one of you. I guess it's gotta be the Quill Marksman. And then Foregone Power can either hit you, which seems pointless, so we won't be doing that. Actually, is it pointless? I guess it's not, because you're gonna have 21 health. If we take 6 away from that, then it's 15, which is exactly as much as the Steelworker does. Okay, never mind. We're doing this. Man, another shard-enhanced overcharged tank. Ouch. They're so painful. So we're playing a Pyre Chomper. I guess it's going to be in the center because that is the least bad place for a Pyre Chomper to die with these overcharged tanks. We could play an Ice Tornado at the top, or we could just play Ritual of Battle on our champion, which would also kill the back one, I think. Minus 149, so we would need to do 31 more damage. Is that the right number? So we just don't kill it, but we've got a torch, so we can make it work. Yeah. So we need to do 2 more damage to you, which we can do with a torch. The Ice Tornado I want to do somewhere else. Probably in the middle. The bottom is not bad either, because killing that one is more important than killing this one. I just don't like that you're going to add armor 10 to 2 units, basically. Still, I think bottom is the right thing to do. And we didn't even hit the back one. Well, we have to torch this one this turn. We might torch you at a later time. You are going to die at the top. We don't care about you, so I guess we play the foregone power here. As unfortunate as this has been, we haven't taken any damage on our pyre. We have a Gifts for a Guard, which seems really nice. Really nice, actually. We're going to play the Pyre Chomper at the bottom this time. That gets me Gifts for a Guard, which I am going to play next. So Gifts for a Guard, we can play this here. And the Unnamed Tome can remove this Harvest ability, which I think is very important. Great. The Urchin Spines, who cares? Yeah, who cares? I guess we play the Urchin Spines at the bottom. I'm thinking that we don't play the Fledgling Imp. I'm thinking we don't play the Fledgling Imp because we don't get the Queen's Tail effect from it, and there's nothing that we really want to give Rage, so we'll save it in the deck for later. Instead, we'll play Important Work on you, draw you again, play you again, and get lots of Ember. What are we going to do with that Ember? There's no point in killing that one. We do want to kill that one. Let's kill that one. And we could kill this one. Kill that one. And then Foregone Power, we certainly want to consume that. We're going to have no problem killing you two. And it's not like we can prevent that 11 damage, so let's play the Foregone Power at the bottom. Okay. Feeling pretty good about this one. It would be nice if my champion had even more attack, but I feel pretty good. We do want to play the Pyre Chomper. We do want the Pyre Chomper to die, which means it goes in the center. I think we want the Mollusk Mage and the Welder Helper at the bottom, so that we have them for next turn. Yeah, I think we do want that. The Mollusk Mage is going to go behind, so the Welder Helper goes here, the Mollusk Mage goes behind. We've got a Ritual of Battle, which we will play on our champion, I think. I think we still play it on the champion. Yeah, still play it on the champion. Even though it's useful on the Horned Warrior because it's got multi-strike, play it on the champion. The Torch will kill you. You two are going to die no problem at the top. Let's keep the Ice Tornado for the boss. Okay, the boss is stealthy. Stealthy boss is bad for us. We can play the Consumer of Crowns. So we shall play the Consumer of Crowns. Do we want to play the Consumer of Crowns at the bottom? I think we do, which means the Pyre Chomper goes in the center. Pyre Chomper in the center, Consumer of Crowns at the bottom. Oh no, you kill our Consumer of Crowns before the stealth goes away? I guess I should have foreseen that. That's unfortunate. And then we play the Ice Tornado to just deal a whole bunch of damage because this is the best turn for it. That did not go well. Let me just acknowledge that did not go well. It did remove a lot more stealth on the boss, which is useful, because our Consumer of Crowns had so much health, so now the boss has no stealth, which is nice. Important Work is amazing because we gain one, draw one. We draw this, which means we get to gain another one and draw another one. I mean, it was nice. The Fledgling Imp isn't the most useful thing, though. I am going to play Gifts for a Guard, because we would be happy consuming those. No reason not to play the Fledgling Imp, because we can play everything else, yeah. And I guess we play Ritual of Battle. I am going to play it on you this time. And then we can play Foregone Powers and Torches. So Foregone Power, Torch, Foregone Power. There we go. We are winning this boss. We actually did really well this time, because we didn't take any damage on the pyre. So that one went better than previous ones, even though it seemed kind of bad. It seemed like we were getting really unlucky, and it went just fine. Okay, maybe the deck is better than I think it is. Spike of the Hellhorned seems good. I know there's an imp in the box here, but the Spike of the Hellhorned, with as much Ember as we can generate, and the fact that Rage gives more, I think we want that. Ice Storm is really good where our Mollusk Mage is. Guardian's Amulet is fine. Ancient Synergy is not great in the deck that we've built. I really like Ice Storms. Let's get an Ice Storm. It gives us another damage spell that actually gets benefits from our Mollusk Mages, because we just don't have those, really. So let's get the Ice Storm. I want to remove more cards, which means going left. If we go left, we don't get to buy anything from the Merchant of Trinkets. But removing cards is so nice right now. Is it better than Concealed Caverns and Forgotten Boons and Merchant of Magic? Maybe. It might be better than those things. It's a hard choice, though, because we don't have the money to buy a trinket. We do have the money to remove another card at the Merchant of Trinkets, though. And maybe we want to spend our money removing cards. Okay, we're going this way. We're removing a bunch of cards, but let's look at the Divine Temple. True Stone is amazing with the Ice Storm we just got. Let's put that on immediately. Twin Stone. Twin Stone. Do we want a Twin Stone on anything? It could give us another Ice Storm. It could go on Important Work. The thing about putting the Twin Stone on Important Work is that with the Immortal Imp, we don't get the extra draws, but we do get the extra Ember. And that seems kind of pointless. Kind of pointless. How do we use the Ember other than Spike of the Hellhorned? I think we might not take the Twin Stone, but we do want the Engage Pact. We are sacrificing a Mollusk Mage to... Is it Horned Warrior? We could sacrifice the Mollusk Mage to the Pyre Chomper. It's actually not the worst, because we'll have the Pyre Chomper very frequently, and having it have 3 more health might be good. We're gonna have to think about that one. In the meantime, let's remove a couple cards. So Foregone Powers are the worst. The worst in this deck. So we're removing a couple Foregone Powers. Merchant of Trinkets, we can't afford anything as we knew. Of course, the things that are here are all things I really want. I really wish we had 20 more gold so that we could buy Collection of Tales. But we don't have it. We will purge another card, and purge another Foregone Power. We could afford another purge. I think I will put that off. And We're sacrificing this mollusk mage to something, but I don't know what. In theory, you want it on Consumer of Crowns, but honestly, Consumer of Crowns doesn't come out quickly. It'll come out a lot more quickly now that we've removed as many cards as we've removed. But still, I think it's actually better on Pyre Chomper. Sacrifice it, put it on Pyre Chomper. Okay. Crazy plan. Crazy plan just might work. It's going to fell the Wings of Light. The Alabaster Guardians have Spell Shield 5. It's annoying, but honestly, we don't deal a ton of damage with our spells, so it's not the worst. Oh man, giving all of those units armor is so bad. I guess we can do the Piercing Ice Storm. Piercing Ice Storm should make the bottom go down pretty well. We're going to play the Hornbreaker Prince and the Horned Warrior at the top again. So we're going to get Ember Drain next turn. And our Hornbreaker Prince gets a Slay on the first turn. It's kind of nice. And the Piercing Ice Storm, let's see what it does. Okay, it killed the most important one, but it did not kill this one. Do we torch it, or do we just torch the boss? Guess we torch this one, because it has marginally more effect. Let's foregone power the middle Alabaster Guardian. Consumer of Crowns, this is not the time for you. Mollusk Mage Steelworker, glad you showed up. So, we wanted this torch next turn for you. We don't get it. Although, actually, well, we don't get the Slay, so we don't actually care about you getting to the top. We could play Urchin Spines here. I think we should, even though it gives you 10 armor. And then we should not play the torch. I guess we play the torch on the boss, because there's nothing else to do with the torch. Okay, we've got Ember Drain again next turn. We did get our Pyre Chomper, though. I think we got some pretty decent stuff. So we want to play the Pyre Chomper and we want it to die. So let's play the Pyre Chomper at the bottom, I think. We kind of want the Welder Helper to be played and survive. So maybe what we do is we play the Welder Helper first, and then we play the Pyre Chomper behind the Welder Helper. I like that plan. So the Pyre Chomper goes here, takes some of the damage. Now we've got some Ember. I don't think we care about playing Ice Tornado this turn, which I think means we're going to play Spike of the Hellhorned after playing Ritual of Battle. So Ritual of Battle on our champion, or on you. I think you're going to survive. So let's play the Spike of the Hellhorned on you too. There we go. We've given you some armor, we've given you some rage. Now things look better. Better than they did. We got important work, which is good. I think what we want to do is... well, we want to important work you. Unless this one is dying no matter what, which it could be. If we got the Fledgling Imp, I would be happy to important work the Fledgling Imp. And then I have trouble finding any other use for this than right here to get rid of this incant. Yeah, let's get rid of this incant and those two extinguishes. Now, the order of the rest of these cards is important. If we play the Pyre Chomper and it's in front, it takes the 4 damage, then you take 6 and 9 damage. So you're dying no matter what, unless we happen to draw Fledgling Imp. So I think we start with the Pyre Chomper. We did not get the Fledgling Imp, which means you're dying no matter what, so might as well sacrifice you to draw another card into our deck. The Gifts for a Guard could be played. It would be sad if it drew Ice Storm, but everything else would be okay. Even important work would be okay. So I'm thinking about it. The Ritual of Battle we certainly want to play. The Torch really doesn't do much. I mean, I guess it kills this one, saves 9 health. That's not too bad. If we kill this one, I think our Hornbreaker Prince doesn't get the Slay. Because currently you deal 15 damage, and then you deal enough damage with both of your attacks to kill this one. And then the Hornbreaker Prince is killing the Quill Marksman. So we actually get the Slay with you being here. I think that's worth 9 health on our Steelworker. So we don't want the Torch there. I think we want the Ice Tornado in the center. So Ice Tornado in the center. And then I think we Ritual of Battle our champion at this point. Okay. I like that so far. The real question is, do we play Gifts for a Guard or not? We could play a Torch instead. Like Torch you. Or Torch you. Let's Torch you. Whatever. Gifts for a Guard will be played later. And I think we're winning this one no problem at this point, but it's hard to tell. There's an overcharged tank. We already used our thing that I would have preferred to use on him. So, we want to play Mollusk Mage, Pyre Chomper at the bottom. Actually, we don't want to play it at the bottom. So we play it in the center. Then we can play the Fledgling Imp at the bottom. It kind of just throws it away. It throws it away, gives you guys all health, but it allows us to play Consumer of Crowns for less, which is good. Consumer of Crowns goes here. Actually does something. I mean, so far it's only killing an Alabaster Guardian, but still. It's doing something. Hurrah. Do we want to play a Torch or an Ice Storm down here? Ice Storm down here could kill this one. I don't know if that's actually a good thing. The Ice Storm does more damage here. Let's play it here. It does more damage. And then we can Torch the boss? Torch the boss. Okay. The fact that I'm very reticent to play Gifts for a Guard kind of shows you how much I probably shouldn't take the card. So we've got the Mollusk Mage Pyre Chomper and Important Work. The Important Work is not great with this one, especially because it adds more armor. So what we should do is we should torch this one first, so that it doesn't get any armor. Then we should play the Pyre Chomper, draws us a card, and then we import and work the Pyre Chomper, unless we don't care about the Ember. Because we're just going to get the Pyre Chomper back, and we'll play it again and just give this guy 10 armor. Guess we're going to do that. So, do I play the Pyre Chomper in the middle or the bottom? I play it at the bottom. And then we play Gifts for a Guard. We're going to probably get the Ice Tornado, which is slightly sad. But at least we still have the Ice Storm and we're consuming 2 torches. I think consuming 2 torches is really nice. Let's play the Ice Tornado here. And then a torch to kill you. Oh, that gave you 2. Oh, right. I don't know if I like that Fell the Wings of Light got 2 attack. You can't see the attack, but I assume that it still got the attack. Hard to know. Let's hit you with these 2 torches. And then Ritual of Battle goes on. I mean, I kind of want to put it on our Horned Warrior. And then Frostbite can go on you. There's no point in putting that on you. Just put it on you. Whatever. You've got Frostbite now. Another overcharged tank. It makes it so that playing Pyre Chomper is never wonderful. You die even with 10 more health, right? Because you've got... Yes, you do. So we can play the Pyre Chomper here. We got Gifts for a Guard while we have Ice Storm in hand. That's kind of perfect, because the Ice Storm is the thing that we don't want to consume, and we kind of do want to consume everything else. So, perfect time to play Gifts for a Guard. I don't mind consuming important work, for example. It's not very useful anymore, so let's consume it. Now, you still die if we play this. The Ritual of Battle goes on the champion. And then we probably play Ice Storm at the top. Yeah, let's play Ice Storm at the top. You did not die. We can torch you. Probably a good plan. Because now you take a lot less damage. If we torch this one, then all of our damage goes against the boss except for the Steelworker. That's good. 360 against the boss. And you know what? Give you more Frostbite. And we're pretty confidently defeating Fell the Wings of Light. I want to play the Pyre Chomper in front here so that you take less damage. Fell the Wings of Light does 40 damage a pop. Ouch. That's actually a problem for us. Didn't realize you did that much damage. I don't want you to deal damage to my front one, because then Fell the Wings of Light kills it more quickly. I mean, let's think about that. You're going to gain 5 armor at the end of this turn. You're going to gain 5 armor at the end of next turn. So you effectively have 15 plus 18. You've got 33 health. Fell the Wings of Light kills you in 1 round with 33 health. But it uses both attacks. We don't want you to get 13 damage. You only deal 11. So we don't care if you make it to the top. Play the Ice Storm at the bottom, therefore. Alright. Great, that means we can play Foregone Power on the boss. We've already decided that giving much of anybody else things... Let's see here. Let's give you Ritual of Battle. Giving damage to anybody else is not important, so just target the boss. So you get a hit in, but only one hit. If we play you in front, I think you still only get the one hit. But now our torch does more damage. We certainly want to play the Ritual of Battle at the top. I kind of don't want to play Gifts for a Guard this turn. However, we don't get to play our Imp next turn. So we don't have a whole bunch of Ember next turn. So next turn, we don't get to play Gifts for a Guard, but we do get to play Ice Storm and Ritual of Battle. If we play the Gifts for a Guard this turn, then we get all 3 of those spells, and they all get consumed, and then we only have a Torch and a Foregone Power for next turn. But it still might be better. I think it's actually better. Alright, well, let's consume all of our stuff. Consume all of our good spells. Because we're at the end. The Ice Storm does a bunch of damage and gets consumed. The Rituals of Battle get consumed. And then the Torch and Foregone Power are the only spells left in our deck. We've got a 5-card deck at this point. 6 cards. The only card that we didn't draw was Foregone Power. We could draw that with Gifts for a Guard, but we don't need to. We're already winning. In some ways, Gifts for a Guard is great because it consumes the cards that I don't want to play over and over again, but it also consumes the ones that I do sometimes. Ooh, I really like Deep Offering. It's hard not to take Deep Offering. Ice and Pyre is not too bad. It's Pyre bound, though. So let's think about the Last Divinity fight. For the Last Divinity fight, how in the world is our champion going to survive? It only survives if there's something in front of it that's taking the damage, which means the Hornbreaker Prince can't go at the top in the Last Divinity fight. Same with the Horned Warrior. Neither of those can go at the top, which means they go at the bottom or the center. The bottom constantly has damage. The center has a ×2 attack from the Last Divinity. The center also doesn't have enough space for us to have the Steelworker in front. We're going to have a problem with the Last Divinity fight. And we have to solve that problem. Therefore, do we take Alloy of the Ancients? Just because it gives more armor? I think we have to play the champion at the bottom in the Last Divinity fight. Which seems terrible. That seems terrible. So I'm thinking about all 3 of these cards, and the skip button. I actually haven't rolled out any of them. Alloy of the Ancients gives us 25 armor. 1 time to 1 unit. That would mean we could have 1 unit survive a little bit longer. Deep Offering means that we get to go through our deck much more quickly. Especially when we have the Pyre Chomper, we get to play the Deep Offering and just go through our deck faster. That allows us to put more rage on our units more quickly. But it doesn't allow us to do anything with health. Like, the health of our units is the problem. I guess we take Alloy of the Ancients. Light of Seraph would allow us to play our 3 guys in the center floor for the Last Divinity fight. Is that a good thing? I mean, it is a good thing, because right now the only way to play the 3 units that we've been putting together, the Champion, the Hornbreaker Prince, and the Steelworker, the only way to play those in the Last Divinity is at the top, where the back 2 die very quickly, or the bottom, where the front 1 dies really quickly, and therefore the back 2 also die really quickly. So the Light of Seraph means that we could put it in the center, which means it might survive a little bit longer. But only a little bit. Herzl's Compound is generally just really good. I don't know what we're going to do here. It's certainly not Fell's Remorse. Do we have to take a Light of Seraph? I unfortunately think we might have to take this. I really wanted Herzl's Compound, though. There's the Horde on the left for an artifact. And we could duplicate a card. We would probably duplicate Ice Storm. On the right, there's the Concealed Caverns and a Merchant of Steel. The Merchant of Steel would be good for the Horned Warrior. We could give it a Heartstone, maybe? I do not know. Let's go to the right. I think the Concealed Caverns is more promising to give us something that solves the Last Divinity than this artifact in this Hellvent. So let's go to the right. Let's peek at these 2. The Divine Temple, we could do Value Stone. And this is the last Divine Temple. The Merchant of Steel, we can do Frenzy Stone and Heartstone. Both are really kind of nice on the Horned Warrior. The Frenzy Stone is also kind of amazing on the Consumer of Crowns, if we get to play the Consumer of Crowns. We're definitely taking a Frenzy Stone. Let's go to the Concealed Caverns first, see what we're dealing with. Train Graveyard. So we could gain a Heartstone. We could gain Petrified Heart. Friendly units get 10 health and Heartless. Considering that we have no way to gain health, there's no downside to that. Also, the Imps become a lot more survivable, which might actually be good for us. Yeah? Okay, great. Get the Petrified Heart. So that makes our units a little bit more able to survive. Let's get the Champion upgrade next. So the Reaper 3 gives more health. The health is really important here. And gives an even better Slay. The Brawler gives Armor 10, which is not as much as the Reaper gives in health. And it gives Multi-Strike 1, which is nice and all, but in terms of raw damage, it's the same. So we're going Reaper 3. We've gone down Reaper for the first time. And I'm worried about whether it's actually going to be helpful. Merchant of Steel. We definitely want the Frenzy Stone. We almost certainly want the Heartstone as well. Frenzy Stone. You know, I really do want that on Consumer of Crowns. I do. It's just that if we put it on Horned Warrior, then the Horned Warrior is the perfect place to put Rage that we get. But look at the Consumer of Crowns. It starts with 115. Yeah, Consumer of Crowns is getting it. Frenzy Stone on Consumer of Crowns. Heartstone certainly goes on Horned Warrior or Steelworker. Let's put it on Steelworker. So the Steelworker is buffed up, so it can go in front. And then the Battlestone is perfectly fine on Horned Warrior, so we'll do that. Then it'd be great if we had more gold, but we don't. The value stone we could put on Ice Tornado, or a Ritual of Battle, or the Spike of the Hellhorned for that matter. But the Spike of the Hellhorned only gets played once. Let's put it on the Ice Tornado? Maybe? Have to think about this one a little bit more. Where are we going next time? Next time, we're going to the right, get another Merchant of Steel because we want to remove more cards. We could go to the left to duplicate a card, so that is actually an option, but we're probably going to go to the right, get another Merchant of Steel, which means this is the last time we really get to upgrade a spell. In that case, let's put it on Ice Tornado. Make that just more playable. Okay, well, we have our pack shards. Now let's see if we can win. I have fear for the Last Divinity battle, but, you know, we could lose before that, too. Enemy units enter with Spell Shield 2. That's pretty bad with the Wilt Wings. Our spells these days... The Ice Tornado and the Ice Storm. The Ice Storm has Piercing. We still have the 5 torches. I really do want to turn this on because of the 400 gold. But the Wilt Wings are pretty bad here. I'm going to turn it on. And perhaps we die because I turned that on. But I think that we would have died in the future if I didn't. In like a later part. I'm certainly going to start at the top in this battle. Okay, so Hornbreaker Prince starts at the top with the Mollusk Mage Steelworker. We can play the Ice Tornado and the Torch. I think we will do that. I guess let's torch this one first to remove the first layer of Spell Shield. And then that means that we might kill that one. You know we didn't, but we took out the rest of the Spell Shield on the first two. Of all of the possible outcomes, that one's not so bad. The Horned Warrior we want to put at the top. What else are we doing? We're going to play the Urchin Spines at the bottom. I think we might really want that on those guys. Especially you with the Harvest. Harvest is bad for us. Horned Warrior goes at the top. Let's play the Mollusk Mage Pyre Chomper next. We can put you in the center so that you can die. We drew Gifts for a Guard. I mean, really dangerous to play it right now, because if we drew Ice Storm with it, it would be very bad for us. It's just that everything else that we could draw with it would be fine. It's just that drawing the Ice Storm with it would be real bad. So let's not do it. Let's play the Horned Warrior. And I think we do put Ritual of Battle on the Horned Warrior. Actually, maybe we don't, because the very next thing that's coming up the pyre, we want to be able to kill this one, so the Ritual of Battle helps kill that one next turn. Okay, well, you're going to get a fair amount of damage because of all those Wilt Wings. Do not like that. Yeah, 55 damage is quite bad. Now granted, the Torch could do something. Ooh, the Ice Storm could do something. Okay, we might be fine. We don't want to play the Pyre Chomper here because of the Harvest, so we'll play it at the bottom. We got another Torch. Let's sacrifice you and play you again. Now we've got a lot for the Spike of the Hellhorned. So as it currently stands, they all hit you. You hit the first one, you kill the next two, and then you don't quite kill the Gilded Wing. I really want to kill this Wilt Wings, but a single torch doesn't do that. We could play the Ice Storm, which has a good chance of killing a couple of them, but maybe not this one. Let's do the Ice Storm. Great. It killed all of the bad things. Alright. Now we can play Spike of the Hellhorned on you, make you big and strong. It does mean that you no longer get the Slay, which is fine, I guess. At least you have a lot more health than you would otherwise. Okay, next. You two are getting to the top currently. That's not good for me. I think we probably want to play this Ritual of Battle on you. And I don't see any real way to prevent... Oh, actually, we could do the Unnamed Tome at the top. Or the bottom. If we play the Unnamed Tome at the top this turn, it helps us this turn. Because these don't have the Extinguish effect, you don't have the Harvest. If we played it at the bottom, it helps us in a future turn because these all have Extinguish and you have Harvest. So we're going to need to think about that. We don't want to play the Pyre Chomper in front of a Harvest unit. But I do kind of want to play it at the top so that it takes the damage. Which kind of means that we would play the Unnamed Tome at the top. Which means we don't know what we're doing with them yet. I am very happy to play Gifts for a Guard this turn. So we are going to play Gifts for a Guard. Let's play the Pyre Chomper at the top. Now Gifts for a Guard is a little bit more scary to play. I'm still going to play it. Okay, so now we've got some spells that I'm happy to consume. Also, Foregone Power kills this Wilt Wings just fine. I like that. The Welder Helper kind of can't go anywhere helpfully, so we won't play the Welder Helper this turn. Now we have to figure out what we're doing at the top, and I think it's playing Unnamed Tome first. Well, I guess we could play Ritual of Battle first and see how this changes the thing. Yeah, okay. So, didn't change it enough. Those back two are not getting hit at all. Play the Unnamed Tome at the top. Okay. Now, the fact that the spells don't help us means that we're going to take 25 damage on the Pyre, because if we played the spells, they would just hit the spell shields. Which is unfortunate. But we can take out this one for next turn, which I think is good. So get rid of a spell shield, get rid of the other spell shield, kill you. So that's good. That one's not there for next turn. Alloy of the Ancients, I think we want to put on our Steelworker. And then the Foregone Power we want to play here, so it kills one of those. Okay. I think this is only going. It's not going great, it's just going. Certainly we're taking this 25 damage because we took the Trial. So we can play the Consumer of Crowns this turn. That's nice. Consumer of Crowns I want to put in the center. And have it kill this one. Unfortunately, the Pyre Chomper in the center gives everybody 15 armor. And the Consumer of Crowns is going to take a lot of damage unless we also play this Fledgling Imp in the center. all of those are kind of bad things. But I guess you guys getting armor and the front one dying is still a good thing, technically. Let's start with the Pyre Chopper. Okay. Then we play the Fledgling Imp. Fledgling Imp before the Consumer of Crowns because we want it for the Ember. Yeah, so here's the Fledgling Imp, then the Consumer of Crowns, and then the Ritual of Battle on the Consumer of Crowns. Alright, so now these guys are getting a whole bunch of health, which is not great, but our Consumer of Crowns is now here killing each of these Dark Wings as they go up, which is good for us. Didn't even look at the top, but the top was no problem. We have Ice Storm. If we play Ice Storm at the top, the Steelworker does a lot better. Let's play this guy at the bottom and then Important Work him. Ooh, Gifts for a Guard. It would consume our Ice Tornado, but it would not consume the Ice Storm, which is great. Yeah, let's do Gifts for a Guard right now. And then Important Work you, and then we're going to have to think about whether we put you in front of Consumer of Crowns or not. The answer might be yes. If we play the Ice Storm at the top, it kills all of these very easily, and you take a lot less damage. If we play it in the center, it could just hit the front one a whole bunch, but it's not likely to. Still, let's play this at the top. So, save a lot of health on you. Now we can play the Ice Storm here. I think it's a good thing to play it. We should probably play the Pyre Chomper first. So now we play the Ice Storm. Should we play the torches before the Ice Storm? Now let's see where the Ice Tornado hits. So now we can use a torch to kill one of you. That reduces damage that we take. And then Ritual of Battle on you is fine, but would we rather have it on something up there? If we do it here, then he will kill this one in one hit, and then also kill that one. I think that's worth it. And then this torch we do want to consume, so let's consume it on you. Great. Alright, we are set up for the boss. I don't think we're doing amazing with our setup against the boss, but we are set up for the boss. We have Gifts for a Guard, but I don't think we play it until we have to. So we play the Mollusk Mage Pyre Chomper. Do we play it at the bottom? We could play Ice Storm at the bottom first. Kind of like that. There we go. Now we can play this Pyre Chomper at the bottom, no problem. Have it die. We do want it to die. The Welder Helper, we kind of want that in the center. So we will. And then as it stands, you take 2 hits to kill this guy. So he gets his ×2 attack in. You are going to lose some rage as you go up. So when you get to the top, you will still have a lot, because how much will you have? So you're going to lose 2 stacks of rage, which means you're going to go down by 4 and have 52 with the trample. 52 with the trample, you are going to have essentially the same health that you have now, because the -10 plus the 5 plus the 5. So 52 hits this one and kills it in 1 hit. However, it does not kill this one, And when it does another 52 damage to this one, it still doesn't kill it. So we get multiple attacks off of this one. And then we're going to get even more attacks off of our Hornbreaker Prince. Is it still better to do the multi-strike or the Hornbreaker Prince? Because the Hornbreaker Prince gets to do more attacks, but only gets to attack a little bit each time. I think it's still better on the Hornbreaker Prince, but let's think about it a little bit. So, the boss comes up here, kills you in one hit, damages you. You guys each get a swing. The boss hits you. You guys each get a swing. The boss kills you, and then only the Hornbreaker Prince gets a swing. The boss hits the Hornbreaker Prince, and then the Hornbreaker Prince gets another swing. So I think the Ritual of Battle can go on either of them equally, I think. I think that's what I came up with at the end of that. Let's put it on the back unit just in case I'm wrong. Just in case it survives a little bit longer than I think. So we get to play the Pyre Chomper every turn. We get to sacrifice an Imp every turn. If we sacrifice the Pyre Chomper, we only get to replay the Pyre Chomper. If we sacrifice the Welder Helper, we get to draw another card, which could be Ice Storm. Let's think about it. So, you kill this guy in 2 hits, whether or not this Imp is here. So we sacrifice this Imp. We did not get our Ice Storm. How sad. But at least we get to play a Torch, whatever. Get rid of one of the Spell Shield. And then Ritual of Battle twice up here. Alright, we did 332 on the boss that time. Now we do get to play our Pyre Chomper again. So... oh, we're already winning. Yes, we're already winning. Great. That one seemed like it was close. It seemed like it was close. It wasn't as close as it seemed, I guess, but it did seem like it was close. Oh, the Impish Scholar. Do we want the Impish Scholar? Return a consume spell, so Alloy of the Ancients would be consumed, something from Gifts for a Guard would be consumed, Spike of the Hellhorned, Unnamed Tome or Urchin Spines. I mean, the Unnamed Tome or Urchin Spines are not the best, but everything else I would be perfectly happy to get back. Yeah, let's take the Impish Scholar. Another Imp in the deck. I'm thinking about that Guardian Stone, because it applies armor. The Titan's Tooth is kind of pointless. The Urchin Spines is kind of pointless. So right now it's between Guardian Stone and Skip. The nice thing about the Guardian Stone is that getting more armor on our units means they survive longer. The Guardian Stone doesn't survive very long on its own, though. I think that for the Last Divinity, we are playing the Hornbreaker Prince, the Horned Warrior, and the Mollusk Mage Steelworker in the center. And the Steelworker is going to take damage every turn, but there is one space in front of the Steelworker to put a unit. Oh no, that's not true for the center. That's not true for the center. So in the center, there's no more space for a unit, where all of those guys are. We would have to put them at the top if we wanted that. And at the top, our Horned Warrior and Hornbreaker Prince die pretty fast from the sweep that the boss has. Even with the +5 armor every turn. So I don't think we get to play this with our main set of units, which means I think it's not very useful, we skip it. Okay, we do have money. I still think the Unstable Vortex is where we want to go. We have upgrades that we could make to the Horned Warrior, to the Pyre Chomper for that matter. and to a welder helper or something. So I'm happy with the Merchant of Steel. We're probably going to spend our money in Merchant of Trinkets anyway. So here we go. First step, we're removing the last foregone power. That's gone. Next is a torch. I want to remove that more than urchin spines, right? Yes. Okay. Let's get the money. We could get 100 more money if we want it. Let's look at what our options are. The Rail Hammer, gain 4 stacks of armor each time as it applied. That means that our Steelworker applies 9 armor every turn instead of 5 armor to every unit on the floor. Seems amazing. We're probably going to take the Rail Hammer. Merchant of Steel. We could add Frenzy Stone to Horned Warrior after all. How about that? It's better than Strength Stone. Fury Stone is pretty good with the Resonant Shard, but I think we would do Frenzy Stone. So we've got 120 that we definitely want to spend here, and not sure if we care about anything else. So, remember we've got 120 we want to spend. Railhammer we're definitely buying. Cuddlebeard, no. Rationing Scales, no. Pointless at this point, only hurts us. So we reroll. Units get an extra upgrade slot. Ooh, interesting. The Faulty Loader is pretty decent to start off a combat. Tethys' Scales is not bad either. I like all of these, but if we take the Pyrestone Housing, we have to spend our money on upgrades to units. Let's think about unit upgrades with the idea of Pyrestone Housing. So Consumer of Crowns could get another Frenzy Stone, for example. The Horned Warrior could get both the Frenzy Stone and a Fury Stone or a Strength Stone. The Steelworker could get one of those things. Actually, I don't think I care. I don't think I care about this. The Consumer of Crowns would be great to have another upgrade slot. But we're perfectly happy adding more multi-strike to our Horned Warrior. So I think we're just going to take the Frenzy Stone. We don't care about Pyrestone Housing, which means we are getting Faulty Loader. And that means that we have to take that money if we want Fury Stone or Strength Stone, which I don't think we care that much about either. So Frenzy Stone on the Horned Warrior. We've spent exactly our money. And we leave. Go into Seraph the Patient. Seraph the Patient, we do have a trick up our sleeve to remove the Rally and Incant. That's our biggest trick that we've got. Other than that, I don't really know. You know? The melee weakness is pretty bad. The melee weakness is pretty bad. We got kind of a random set of units that I did not like getting. I think we want to set up in the center. Or well, center or top. I guess I don't really know. The top is actually kind of nice because of the melee weakness. We could just put an imp in front all the time. It's kind of nice. In that case, how about we play Hornbreaker Prince and the Welder Helper at the top? Hornbreaker Prince, Welder Helper. Oh, Ice Tornado. Wonderful. Play the Ice Tornado. And I guess a couple of torches. Actually, we should not, because 2 damage against the boss is not worth the 1 strength that the boss gets. Yeah, okay. So, the boss puts melee weakness on our Imp. That's exactly what we were hoping for. we are getting... So this time, I think I want to put the Horned Warrior in the back. That will allow the Horned Prince to slay more often, and the Horned Warrior will deal a lot more damage because now that it has ×3, we want it to get the rage more often. So, you are dying, that's fine. Because of the space that we have, we can't put the Mollusk Mage Pyre Chomper at the top. We'll place it at the bottom. Oh, the Unnamed Tome. Perfect. Play that up here. Now, Seraph the Patient has 30 attack, which will go down to 26, and never go up again. That is perfect. Alright, I think we're winning this one, no problem. So, let's get our Ember Drain. And then what? Spike of the Hellhorned for 4. Pretty nice. Spike of the Hellhorned for 4 is pretty nice. I think that's fine. Alright. I think we're doing quite well. We basically just need to take things out as they come up the train, which should be pretty easy to do with the spells that we have, I believe. Well, I don't like you up there, but we can put the Pyre Chomper in front. Or the Fledgling Imp in front. Ooh, Fledgling Imp in front. Give rage to our guys. And then the Ritual of Battle is great. Let's play the Pyre Chomper next. I'm going to play it at the bottom, simply because I think I'm going to try to wreck the center with this Ice Storm. Oh, I guess Seraph the Patient was there, and we actually wanted the magic power. Okay, that was a mistake. The Gifts for a Guard. Gifts for a Guard is pretty good here, because it's going to get 3 of these, which notably is not Ice Storm. So let's play Gifts for a Guard. And then we can play the important work, drawing this Pyre Chomper again, and playing it again, which means we can replay it where we actually wanted to play it. How about that? Now, Alloy of the Ancients, we've got to put lots of armor on you. I think that's the way. The Ritual of Battles are going back here. The Urchin Spines, I don't know where we want to play that. We could play it at the bottom to give you spell weakness to, or we could play the Ice Storm, or we could play the Urchin Spines and then the Ice Storm. Let's do that. Deal some extra damage to Seraph this turn. Okay. I think this is going well. You are getting lots of spell weakness, but we're always able to put an Imp in front, and as long as we can torch the Light Wings. Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do about your spell weakness, or your melee weakness. Don't like it. Certainly don't like it. Let's play the Mollusk Mage Pyre Chomper somewhere. I guess in the center. The Ice Tornado could go at the top. I like that at the top. Yeah, Ice Tornado at the top. It is going to mean that we have to play the Impish Scholar. Okay. Otherwise you get 69 damage, which is pretty bad. I would rather you get the 14, actually this will be 12. The 12 damage next turn times the 3 than this 26 times 3. Or the 12 times 4 is probably what it's going to be. So yeah, let's play the Impish Scholar here. We get a Ritual of Battle back, which is great. We can do that. Deal a whole bunch of damage to Seraph. And then we want to torch you. Perfect. Going very well. So we wanted you to get that 12 damage. We don't want you to get the 15 damage. We get Gifts for a Guard with the Ice Storm in our hand. It would consume a Ritual of Battle, which is not my favorite. Because we kind of want to play the Ritual of Battle over and over again. So maybe we don't do that. I do want the Consumer of Crowns in the center. So let's play the Consumer of Crowns in the center. And I guess just let you take that damage. Because we are killing both of those. And playing the Consumer of Crowns is nice to do. Okay. We didn't play the Ice Storm that turn. How surprising. I guess that's because we got the Consumer of Crowns, which is gigantic and costs a lot. And it's also not our best unit, actually. It's gigantic and it costs a lot, and it's not our best unit. Crazy. We have a bunch of torches. Well, one of the torches is going to go here. And another one is going to go there. So now you're not getting any damage, which is perfect. Ritual of Battle will continue to go up here. And then we can torch something. There's not a lot worthwhile to torch, though. Because torching you is somewhat pointless. It only does 2 damage. Yeah, let's just hit the boss for 12. I would like to consume my torches if I can. Which we might consume the Ritual of Battle if we do that, though. Let's see what we draw with the Pyre Chomper. And do we want you to take that 15? I mean, we're going to kill this one. We want you to take the... Whoa, that's not good. I don't know what we want to do with the Pyre Chomper. Pyre Chomper could go at the top, or it could go in the center. Putting in the center is nice because the spells get upgraded. Let's put it at the bottom. So you go at the bottom. I just realized that if we kill this one, you don't die, which is very unfortunate. Because we do want you to die. Well, that was unfortunate. Let's play the Ice Tornado in the center. And then we don't want to play the Ice Storm at the top because currently this is getting doubled rather than that getting doubled. So 15 times 2 plus 26. I guess that's more than 26 times 2. So the Ice Storm is still worthwhile at the top. Or just a torch. Well, in any event, we're going to play Ritual of Battle. No questions there. Where do we play our Ice Storm? I think we play it at the top after this torch. Alright, well, doing lots of damage to Seraph, and I don't think that Seraph stands a chance. Really. We have a whole bunch of torches. Well, we're going to play this one in the center. We have even more torches. Really wish I could consume those with the Gifts for a Guard, which we get to do next turn, because we get to draw these 3. And we have Gifts in the Guard in the hand, so we can play Gifts for a Guard safely and just consume torches. Nice. We could play 3 torches to kill you. Probably better than anything else we're going to do now. So, do that. Next turn, we play Gifts for a Guard. And we want to play it before we play Pyre Chomper. The Pyre Chomper didn't die. Oh. Well, we just play Gifts for a Guard then. Gifts for a Guard. Let's consume 3 torches. This is perfectly fine up here. So let's just hit the boss. Okay, we didn't have Ember because our Pyre Chomper didn't die. Now, we should be winning. We are winning. Great. So, just click end turn and win. Now we're going against the Last Divinity. And I don't know what we're doing. Honestly, I still don't know what we're doing in the Last Divinity fight. We've prepared, but I still don't know. I'm happy to get to the Last Divinity again on the final Covenant rank. That's a really good sign. So the thing is, we could set up at the bottom right now with the Hornbreaker Prince and the Horned Warrior. And I don't think it would be a good idea. If we set up at the top, so the big change that has happened about setting up at the top is that our guy, our Steelworker, now gives 9 armor every turn, which means our units are taking only 1 damage per turn from the sweep, which is a lot less. Granted, they take the 10 damage until we get this Steelworker. And we didn't get the Steelworker first turn, which means we don't know when we're going to get it. We do get to play a Welder Helper this turn. I kind of want to put the Welder Helper in the center, which seems almost dumb. Let's put the Welder Helper in the center. Spike of the Stygian, this is not the time for you. So, are we setting up in the center or not? If we're not setting up at the center, we're setting up at the top almost certainly. If we're setting up at the top, then if we don't draw our Steelworker next turn, our Horned Warrior dies on the 3rd turn. That's sufficiently bad. Because we can't guarantee that the Steelworker gets drawn. Which means that we're setting up in the center. Which means we probably put the Welder Helper in the wrong place. Almost certainly don't want to set up at the bottom. Okay, well, here we go. Setting up in the center. What do these torches do for me? The Spike of the Hellhorned, we could just use it up right now. I think I will. Okay, let's not draw the Steelworker next turn. If we draw it next turn, then I should have set up at the top. We drew it this turn, darn it. How sad. We really need that Steelworker. I mean, the other thing that we could do is put the Steelworker at the top with the Consumer of Crowns behind. That's a crazy idea, right? The Pyre Chomper could go in front here right now, and it will die, certainly. Yeah, maybe this is what we do. Maybe we play the Consumer of Crowns at the top with the Steelworker, and just... How are these guys going to survive? We could wait until we draw the Steelworker again. Man, the Welder Helper. I really should have thought more about where I played that. Should have played it at the top. Because no matter what, it was okay at the top. I don't know. I think this is how we're going to deal damage to the Last Divinity, though. we're going to play these two at the top. We're going to play a Ritual of Battle on you. And then a torch somewhere. You guys have a damage shield. Let's think about what's happening here. Can we kill 3 of them? Because this one's dying, we take out the damage shield on the first one, you kill that one. You do all 3 of your attacks against this one to cause it to die. Because the first one gets the damage shield, the second one doesn't quite kill it. Yeah, so the torch doesn't do much here. We probably want to play the torch at the bottom. Unfortunately, that gives you armor, but it does get rid of a spell shield from you, which seems like the most important thing to do. Okay. Well, here we are. Here we are. I had lots of plans for the Last Divinity fight, and then I screwed them up. How very unfortunate, and a little bit too normal for me. We've consumed the Spike of the Hellhorned. We want to play this Pyre Chomper in the center. Every time. I think we play the Ice Tornado next in the center. Oh my gosh, this Light Wings survived? That's not good. The torch doesn't kill it. We could get the Spike of the Hellhorned back by playing our Impish Scholar somewhere. Okay. Spike of the Hellhorned comes back. We could put it on you. I think we do. We can actually put it on you because it applies the armor, and the armor's good too. Yeah, let's do that. And then, that's that turn. That was a strange turn, honestly. Okay, I think our champion is going to die very quickly. Looks like it. Ooh, you're dying. That would be absolutely terrible if you died. We have the Ice Storm that we could play at the top. It's not guaranteed to kill this one, which is a problem. I think we definitely want to play the Unnamed Tome in the center. Or against you, because of the Vengeful Shard. But I almost certainly want to play it in the center because of those 2 Harvest triggers and the Extinguish trigger. Yeah, let's play it in the center. So, the real question is where we're playing the Pyre Chomper. I want to play the Pyre Chomper at the top. I guess with important work, it's really a question of which imp do we play first. Do we want to try to draw more cards or not? There's so much damage coming to me in the center floor. But the top floor is now my, main way to win. So I think what we're going to do is play the Fledgling Imp at the top. And then sacrifice it. Fledgling Imp at the top. And then sacrifice it. Okay. We need something to not die at the top, which could be the Mollusk Mage. I kind of want to put the Mollusk Mage in the center, but does that even help? It does if we play the Ice Storm and it does good things. At the top we could play the Alloy of the Ancients. Oh man. Gifts for a Guard is not terrible playing either. So I'm thinking that we play the Pyre Chomper in the center. And then we play Gifts for a Guard. Wonderful. I'm very happy to consume those. Next step is, what do we do? The torch right here kills this one, which kind of solves the problems at the top for the most part, because the other two don't deal enough damage for me to care too much. So I think that means we play the Ice Storm here. Great. Now our champion isn't dying. We could play the Urchin Spines at the bottom. I think that's worth it. And then you're taking 24 damage, which does not kill you. You know? It doesn't kill you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger? I mean, it's not true, so I think you're just gonna die next turn. This torch almost kills you. It's better than playing the torch anywhere else, right? So you are killing this one, and then you're dealing your damage to that one. We probably want the Ritual of Battle constantly on you, now that we know the center is dying. So let's continue to do that. And then I think the Alloy of the Ancients maybe goes on my champion. Even though it would be good here, keeping the champion alive is probably good. So let's do that. And then the torch. I think the torch does best against this one. Bring it down to 4. I feel like if we put the Steelworker in the center, we would have been fine, but I'm not sure if the Steelworker would have survived or not, because we couldn't constantly put Imps in front. And that it has been helping us. So we want to play the Mollusk Mage Pyre Chomper. I wish we had something else to do this turn. I really do wish we had something else to do this turn, other than playing this one a couple times. You add a Weight of Contrition after combat and Vengeful Shard when you die, but you don't get anything for slaying something. So the Mollusk Mage goes in the center, the Pyre Chomper. We drew an Ice Storm. Ice Storm is good. We could put it at the top, but I think it's more important to do that here, especially with the spell weakness. So let's do it. I don't want to consume the things in my draw pile, so we're not playing Gifts for a Guard this turn. Okay. We can play the Weight of Contrition. We can Important Work you, and then play you again for some reason. That doesn't actually help, but we do it sometimes anyway. Okay, the center is a real problem. However, we might be able to take care of it if we draw that Ice Tornado. Pyre Chomper, draw me an Ice Tornado. You did not, which means the center just all dies. Unless we play Gifts for a Guard, consuming the Ice Tornado and the Ice Storm, yeah, definitely not doing that. So, the center dies. Center dies is a problem. Especially because the torches don't really do much. I think we should kill this one with torches. Little by little. I mean, this one takes out the spell shield. And then we can play a torch onto one of these, which seems more useful than torching you. So torch one of these. And then play the Weight of Contrition, both Rituals of Battle. Okay, so the next turn is a very important turn for us, because if we can take things out consistently, then we actually might do okay. if we play the Gifts for a Guard now, there's a chance that we get both of the Rituals of Battle, but it's not a huge chance. We need to play the Pyre Chomper first if we're going to do anything else. So Pyre Chomper goes first. That drew a Ritual of Battle. Perfect. Okay. So now we play Gifts for a Guard, consume those spells in my deck. That's exactly the type of thing that I want to consume in my deck. Play the Vengeful Shard. The Ice Storm and the Ice Tornado are somewhat equivalent to me. I guess we can kill... Let's do the Ice Storm first. Ice Storm first, that was pretty good. Do we play the Ice Tornado down here? I think we do, because we want the back ones to die. We could play a Torch to kill the back ones, though, right? Whoa, don't go back down to the bottom. So we want to torch this one. Torching that one is the most important thing. The other ones are bad, to be fair. But they're not as bad. Currently, we're doing about as well as we could possibly do up here, except for the fact that this one is getting to the top, which I think the Ritual of Battle takes care of that. Yeah, okay. We're doing about as well as we could do up here, except that we're not dealing a whole bunch of damage to the boss. There's no reason to sacrifice our Imp, but actually we can consume important work, which actually is good, because we don't care about it anymore. So I think it's just Ice Tornado and the Torch, which both go here. To get rid of that spell shield. We could do it there. Of the things to go all the way to the top of the pyre, these are not the worst. Let's deal with this one next. Little by little. Okay, so the main problem here is that our front guy is almost certainly going to die. And that's bad. That's really bad, actually. Because he doesn't have much health and we don't have any ways to give him more health. So let's start this. You're still dying, of course. If we play the Ice Storm next, I think that's the best. And then the Ice Tornado. Woohoo, you're not dying? Oh no. Well, we haven't played Ritual of Battle yet, but that's a problem. Can't really consume my cards, so I can't play Gifts for a Guard. Which means I think this is the end. Basically. Our guy up there now takes at least 10 damage every turn from the boss, and we don't have much pyre health left. And I'm thinking about, I made a mistake at the very first turn of this battle. I'm still thinking about whether that mistake caused me to die or not, and I honestly don't know the answer. Certainly it was a mistake, but I don't know if it was a cause for me to die. I think at this point we do play Gifts for a Guard and consume the Ice Tornado. Right? I don't know. It seems not worth doing still. But we don't draw enough cards every turn to draw my entire deck. Which means we don't consistently get the Ice Tornado and the Ice Storm. The two things that we really want all the time. You're not dying. That's a surprise. I mean, we still get to do this, which means you will. Okay, you're taking 20 damage this turn. You're going to take, it looks like, a lot more next turn. I think you die next turn, and then I have no more units. No more units is bad. So you're dying currently. You're still dying. We haven't played the Ice Tornado yet. You're still dying. Now we have to play Gifts for a Guard for any hope of anything. That consumes our Ice Storm and our Ice Tornado. Terrible. Terrible. And the Ice Tornado. Alright, so our big guy still dies. And there we go. I lost again on the top Covenant rank, but I feel pretty good about this one. I mean, we made it through the Last Divinity fight to the Relentless phase. And we didn't have a whole lot of ways to deal with damage on my units. And you know, that was a problem the whole time, that my units could die pretty easily. They were frail. So I'm pretty happy with how far that deck got, even though we got so close and still died. I'm happy with it. Anyway, we also got Silence Applied 26, which was a pretty decent new record, I guess. And we'll have to try again next time. By the way, this was my 50th standard run. Standard runs counting only the ones where I'm playing at the top Covenant rank that I have played at, which means this is the 50th run in my climb. Since this was a loss, no new Divine Winds nor Mastered cards. On the right, I am happy to announce that I have killed 100 Clipped Reflectors, where I stopped counting. This is my 23rd enemy to reach my 100 kill threshold. Goodbye, Clipped Reflector. You have been checked off my list. The Last Divinity killed me this time, but not until the Relentless phase. I'm not completely sure, but this might be the first time I got to the Relentless phase of the Last Divinity and lost. I'm within inches. On the right, I am featuring Consumer of Crowns, which was my big minion this run. I really tried to make this card work, and it was a mixed success. It does reach my 10 battle threshold, along with 2 other cards, proving that I am still experimenting. Torch reaches my 100 battle threshold, this time for real. I am happy to check it off my list. For artifacts, the Queen's Tale essentially defined this run, making Imp cards much more valuable. I started with it, and almost every card I added was influenced by having this artifact, including Consumer of Crowns. It also reaches my 10 battle threshold, along with Mark of a Champion. Mark of a Champion was technically good this run since I had a strong champion, and it needed some extra initial attack to help with its slay triggers. Check out my tracking sheet, link in the video description. New episodes every Saturday, and thanks for watching.